Whoa, East Coast with that gang gang. You know we don't play games. Whoa, hop up on that wagon. Oh, please just get out the way. You know we stay stuntin', right up in your face. We sorry, not sorry. We just stuck up in our ways. West Coast, no hands, stand up. Put that glass and hands up. Gang, we fammed up. Got that change, we bagged up. Cool love, we stay manned up. Ahem like I'm wheezy, yeah. Rap game just too easy. Drip so sick, I'm queasy. Whoa. East Coast with the gang. West Coast with the gang. Local with the gang. You know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang. West Coast with the gang. Local with the gang. You know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang. West Coast with the gang. Local with the gang. You know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang. West Coast with the gang. Local with the gang. Yeah. Watch me finesse, walk to the line. Good versus evil, God in his prime. Always in prime, always on time. Our time to shine, wifey is fine. I'm doing fine, glad that you asked. God fill me up, mud in my glass. God clean me up, all that I ask. Wherever you headed there fast. I am ahead, you are in last. Last time I checked, you were all gas. Gas in the whip it up fast. Fast and all furious, I'm starting to spaz. Getting all curious, you put me on blast. Blasting that Darius, kids in the back. Back to the future is black. Black like T'Challa, Wakanda attack. East Coast with the gang. West Coast with the gang. This is that one song that you heard so many times, and every time you hear it, you're like, I'm not gonna bump to this song. But then you start catching a vibe. I'm sorry, not sorry. Yeah. East Coast with the gang. West Coast with the gang. Local with the gang. You know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang. West Coast with the gang. Local with the gang. You know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang. West Coast with the gang. With that gang, you know we don't play games. Whoa, hop up on that wagon. Oh, please just get out the way. You know we stay stuntin', right up in your face.
What up, Homewise?
Sorry, we just stuck up.
What up, Slamwise Gang G's?
No hands, stand up. Put that glass and hands
what
up. Gang, we fammed up. Got that change, we bagged up. Cool love, we stay manned up. Ahem like I'm
yo.
Just too easy. Drip so sick, I'm queasy.
Whoa. East Coast with the gang. West Coast with the gang. Dirty pump. Dirty, filthy pump. Come on and drop some comments. Drop a few. Drop emojis. Drop emojis. Tell me how you feel in emojis. Diane and Alicia have it. Oh, thank you, Matt. Appreciate it. Glad everyone's loving those podcasts. That's fantastic.
Whip it up fast and all furious, I'm starting to spaz. Getting all curious, you put me on blast. Blasting that Darius, kids in the back. Back to the future is black. Black like T'Challa, Wakanda attack.
Oh. Bo. Getting freaking yoke. Swole. Swole. Gang. Getting yoke.
Finish all the bullshit.
The sun
is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling.
Now I'm fucking hungry. I don't even want to do the show anymore. Now I'm hangry. Testing. Testing, test, testicles, ball sack, testicles. Ooh. Welcome everyone to episode 886 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beardcast, broadcast, gangcast, mancast, pimpcast, sleazecast, slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hello. We're getting in that flow. We're getting back in that flow this week. I'm feeling good. I had a great pump yesterday. I had a dirty pump. That's what we call it, fam. The first pump coming back after a break where you're not pumping is called a dirty pump. And let me tell you something on the DL. Papa Swole had a filthy pump. It was a dirty slut pump, and it was great. It was great. I did a chest and back superset, and those of you that are in the Daily Swole Club, I sent it to you because I wanted to share, and we're going to talk about it a little bit more today. So if you missed it, for shame on you, and you can get on the Daily Swole Club list, the Very Swole Person, the VSP. If you listened to yesterday's episode, you might be like, well, I couldn't find it anywhere. Just send me a message on Facebook, and then you'll get a prompt. You could join, and it's 100% free, and I'll send out little tidbits. I'll give you alerts when I'm going live. If I'm not going live, when the new podcast is up, it's just kind of like a personal messaging service where I give you the latest and the greatest. You don't have to go searching for it. That's what's cool about the Daily Swole Club. You don't have to go looking for the content. You don't have to go sifting through Instagram. Where's Papa Swolio? You don't have to find me. I come to you. I just slip right in there. I just slide right into your DMs. Well, Facebook Messenger, but I just like the word. I like DM. I always like sliding into the DM. I'm a little bit too swole to slide into the DM. Maybe I'll just like I'll meander into the DM a little bit. I'm a little more casual than the slide. Did enough sliding in baseball my entire career. Anyway, that being said, welcome to the live cast. We are live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Daily Swole Podcast on YouTube, Twitch, Periscope, live everywhere. And coffee is on point, and it's Tuesday. So drop your comments, drop your questions if thou hast any, and we'll get this party started. Instagram sleeping today. What the hell's going on there? Am I even online? Am I on the interwebs? It says I'm live. Just no one gives a fuck on Instagram. Okay, well, same to you. I guess a lot of people had off yesterday, so now everyone's back to work after a long weekend. If you had a long weekend, and now it's like, oh my God, routine. Yeah, I was back yesterday, bro. And then someone comes on Instagram, Eric, he's back. Yeah, I've been back. Where have you been? I was here yesterday. Maybe you weren't. I'm always here. I never left. I'm always putting out the content. I'm always here. I'm always in your face. But I am back in the swole hole. Coffee, someone day coffee. I don't know what that means. So I'm on my second or third cup. I'm like those of you that watch the show, I usually have the big mug, but now I got my tiny little New York City mimicking mug, which is my new favorite. It's my new thing. I love how it doesn't have a handle. I feel so high society. Got to pick up the pinky when I'm drinking my coffee. So let's talk about the workout that I sent to those of you that are in the Daily Swole Club. So if you got that workout and you checked it out, this is something that I'm going to put in the training section in the vault. I'm going to work this into the programs. It's going to be in the workout archive and stuff on my website, Swolenormous X. So those of you that are members, you will see this workout. You'll see more things, or you've seen stuff like this already. But this is something that I'm going to add because it was just a nice ramp back in. It was like a nice on ramp to get back up to speed with my training. And when you take a week off, a lot of people probably think, all right, well, it's a week off. Now you're healed. Come back and crush it. Yes and no. You got a lot of recovery. You did recover a lot, but you also fell out of that routine of breakdown, repair. You're going to feel the difference. You're going to feel more sore. You're going to feel like more damage has been done. And it's very easy to come back and do too much because you'll be more recovered. You'll feel more healed because you will be. Your body has repaired more, especially if you're doing yoga and mobility and stuff, even when you're not lifting weights. So the tendency is to come back and just crush it. And then you can't lift your fucking arms for like a week or two. So you come back after taking time off, now you're recovered, you feel fresh, and then you crush it, and then you're kind of out of your routine already because you did too much. So it's very important not to overdo it. And most people overdo it. Most people think that more is better, right? More money, more points in a game, you'll win. More workouts, more intensity is going to be better for your body. And that's not the case. You need to approach your fitness and your training with a recovery mindset. That's how you're going to build muscle, because it takes the long term. It's always about the journey, the process, the long-term result. You're not going to build muscle quickly. You're not going to lose fat quickly. So it's important from the start to understand that it's going to take a long time. If it's going to take a long time, what is the most important thing that you can do? What's the most important concept that you can focus on if you know what you're going to get or what you want to achieve is going to take a long time? What do you think? What do you think is the most important thing, the most important concept to focus on if you know your end result is going to take a long time? It is that consistency of output. Consistency of output is the most important thing. Consistency of output. So how do you get consistent? How do you get consistent? All right, you just do it over and over again. Fine. How do you execute your training and your nutrition in order to be consistent? How do you execute your fitness, your training, and your nutrition in order to be consistent long term? You have to eat the right foods. You need to give your body the right fuel. You can't be eating random shit. Okay. You need to be consistent with your caloric intake, all right, whether your goal is to gain or lose. Okay. You don't want to eat inflammatory foods. You want to eat foods that at least satisfy you and that you like, or you relatively like. You don't want to be eating things that you fucking hate. You don't, because you're less likely to stick to it. You're more likely to break away and cheat and have other kinds of cravings for things that you enjoy. I love what I eat. I love the flavor. I love the taste. It gives me energy. I found my sweet spot, so I'm sticking to it. And yours is going to look a little bit different than mine. Your sweet spot, or how that turns out in the end, is going to look a little bit different than mine. But you need to find something that you can stick to, training wise and nutrition wise. Okay. So you got to get your physical training right. You got to get your food right, and you got to get your mind right. So you have to strap in for that long term, and all your programming needs to revolve around that long term result, because that is all that is going to happen. That's all that exists. It's not going to happen in the short term. It is impossible. It's not going to work in the short term unless you're trying to lose 5 pounds. Sure, you can lose 5 pounds in a month. But I think you should have some other more important goals for your approach, because a month is going to come and go. And unless you're going to die in a month, you're going to have something else that you need to work for, something else that you want to achieve, something else that you want to be healthy for in order to keep you on track. That's another reason why I don't like challenges. I don't like people trying to lose all this weight for a wedding or for a vacation, because there's an end point. And then you just get back to where you were before you left, or before your wedding, or before your vacation, before your reunion, whatever you're losing weight for. You're going on a cruise, fine, but why lose weight for that and not maintain it? A lot of people just try to do that short term. They'll go hard for a few months or a couple weeks, and then they don't have anything in place for after. Or they don't have anything in place after this challenge. They don't have anything in place after this short-term sprint. And that's a problem, because life isn't a sprint. It's a marathon. And if you are going at a high intensity and you're working at a high output and you're working at this high level of of effort all the time, leading up into this event that you're trying to lose weight for or build muscle for, whatever it is, you're going to burn out anyway. You can't maintain that high level. So it has to be mapped out. You need to have proper recovery periods. You need to have proper training modalities that are going to be able to be maintained for the long term. Otherwise, you're going to get hurt, you're going to get burned out, and you're not going to get your results, because it takes long term. So one thing we know is that it's going to take a long time. The other thing we know is you getting hurt is the number one thing that's going to fuck you up. It's going to hold you back. If you're getting hurt, you're not getting results, because you're not training, you're recovering, you're repairing. So it's important to make sure you're not getting injured. So we have to be consistent with our intensity. We have to back off now and again. We have to work on active recovery. And I just posted on Instagram a picture of me doing yoga when I was up in Connecticut, doing yoga, mobility, that type of active recovery. And I did take a week off. I did a little bit. I did a bunch of things like pull-ups and some push-ups and some single leg stuff. We had some, there's pull-up bars all around the property in the house. So I did some of that stuff. but mostly yoga. I decided I was going to go to the gym a couple times and just go light, do some general stuff. And then while I was there, I'm like, fuck it. It's only a few days, just a week. I'll focus more on some mobility and just recovering because I was going pretty hard before I left. And then I'll come back all fresh and then I'll ease back into it and we'll be back. Which is what I did. And it was the right decision. It feels great. And I'm already feel the same way I did before I left. And it all comes down to consistency. So when you're approaching your nutrition, the reason why I talk about the elimination diet, the reason why I talk about focusing on what you're eating first before you start looking at caloric intake and keto and vegan and paleo and all those things, which there's nothing wrong with any of them. Usually each one kind of misses some important aspect of overall total nutrition, but it's very individualized. But bottom line, you'll know if you're eating the right food, if you shit your brains out, if you have bloating, if you eat something, you get a migraine. That is something that your body doesn't like. So stop eating it. And if you're having problems, and things that are lingering around, you're not getting rid of this extra belly fat, you're doing everything right perfectly, you're really doing so well with your sleep and your hydration, your training, you're doing everything so well, you need to start eliminating things. And if you don't want to do that and you don't want to go that quote extra mile and put in some fucking effort, then you're not going to get results and you have to deal with that. But it's all your responsibility. It's on you. And it's very, very important that you approach your nutrition first. Fundamentally, what are you eating? Your training, it's all revolving around consistency. It's all revolving around consistency long term. That being said, there are little things you can do in the short term that are going to give you different results. That are going to give you different types of stress. And I've mentioned many times on the podcast that it's not so important to do random shit all the time. You want to get more results, you have to be consistent. So I just said, if you want results long term, you got to be consistent over the long term. Same thing with your stress. The stress you put on your body, if you want to build muscle, you got to be consistently overloading your body in that sense in order to build muscle. If you want to lose weight, you have to be consistent with your training in order to lose weight overall. You can't debate these concepts. You have to be consistent with your specificity of training to get an outcome, right? You're not going to be better at cycling if you're practicing basketball. You keep on training harder and harder for basketball and doing basketball drills. It's not going to make you a better cyclist. The type of training is very important to what your outcome is, whatever your skill is going to be, whatever your muscle adaptations are going to be. What you're doing on a daily basis over the long term is going to determine those adaptations and what your body looks like, what your body is good at, is not as good at, of course, right? So when you're going after your training and your training modalities in the gym, and we're just looking at this from the general average, I'm not talking about, we're not discussing professional athletes. I don't care if you're playing a sport. This is not for someone who's doing athletics because that gets specific to whatever sport you're playing. This is for someone who wants to either build muscle, or everyone should probably want to build muscle, but build muscle, lose fat, maintain health. You know, the average person in the gym like myself, the amateur bodybuilder, someone who wants to improve flexibility, reduce injury, effects of injuries, effects of discomfort, improve mobility, quality of life, functional movement patterns, and all those sorts of things. You don't have to go crazy mixing things up. You don't have to do random shit all the time. You don't have to do, where the fuck is everyone? Where the fuck is everyone? Drop some comments. Why am I not seeing this on the chat? Why am I not seeing this pop up? Weird. Okay, so when you're doing your training, when you're working on your actual programming structure, you don't have to do random shit all the time. This isn't a pick stuff out of a hat CrossFit style. This is actual programming. You need to approach your training without mixing it up to the point when you are just picking things out of a hat, doing random shit. This isn't training roulette, right? You're not just spinning a wheel and then picking something. You need to approach it, mixing it up. However, not mixing up to the point where you're not doing the overall macro scheme that's going to get you the result that you're interested in. Every time you go to the gym, you have the ability to mix things up. You have the ability to do different exercise, different order, different rest periods, different rep schemes, different amount of sets per exercise. These are all called acute variables. They're things you can change in the short term. There are things you can change in the moment. There are things you can change on a daily or a weekly basis. These are acute variables, things that you have control over. And if you do those in a certain way over a long period of time, you'll get those adaptations that I talked about, all right? It takes a lot of time. It doesn't happen in a workout in a week or even a month. It takes months and years. And your modality needs to, or your approach to this doesn't have to be drastic. You don't have to do complete random shit every time you go to the gym. You don't have to do swimming and then run 10 miles and then do a max bench and then do high rep squats. And if you do random shit, you're probably going to get hurt. You're probably going to have some fucking tendonitis. You're probably going to get exhausted. You're probably going to overtrain. You're probably going to not get all the results that you wanted because you're doing random shit and your body is trying to adapt to it. Now, it doesn't mean you can't get better at all those things, but it depends on what you want, right? There's nothing wrong with whatever you want. If you want to become a better rock climber, obviously, you got to practice rock climbing. Is that going to be the best thing to get you shredded abs and to build your deltoids? And no, but that's not your goal. So you're not going to care about that. And there are a lot of you out there that are concerning yourself with all these different adaptations. Like, I want this and this and this and this. And I'm looking at these questions that get sent to me. You're trying to pull yourself in 5 different directions. So you're going to end up getting nothing. You're going to end up not getting any of them because you're trying to do 5 different things with 5 completely different adaptations. So when your adaptation is to develop the physique and to, let's say, just go in any one direction, you don't have to manipulate everything so much. What I like to do, and the title of this episode, is to do some of these finishing moves first. Sometimes it can be perceived as pre-fatigue training where you're doing, let's say, chest flies before you're doing a bench press. Yesterday, in the workout that I did, which I really liked, I started with dumbbell pullovers for chest. Dumbbell pullovers and Papa Swole rows. And Papa Swole rows are one of my favorite because it fully stretches the lats. And I do that single arm on a cable row machine. And those of you that are in Swolenormous X, you know this. It's in the instructional video library on my website. I started off with full stretching, lengthening movements. Now, you might consider some of these finishing movements. I didn't put it in the title here, but I wrote it when I sent out the message for today's live broadcast, finishing in quotes, because finishing movements, you really don't have any, there aren't any movements that are considered necessarily finishing movements, but a finishing movement is usually something that's more isolation. It's more of like a lengthening movement. It might be more of a burnout movement. It's not like a base core. I shouldn't say base core. It's not like a base strength movement. It's not like a heavy flat bench or a heavy flat incline, a heavy incline bench. It's not a foundational, it's not a deadlift. It's not a military press. It's not a barbell row. It might be something like cable crossovers, right? Most people don't think of cable crossovers as a strength building or as a primary exercise, but you'll get a lot of these cool adaptations and these great transient hypertrophy workouts or, pumps during your workout and great activation when you do some of these quote unquote fancy or more isolation oriented exercises first. You can get a lot of muscle activation that can pre-fatigue your muscles, whereas if you're just always doing the same exercises first every day, you're going to adapt in that manner. You're going to get used to doing bench first. You're going to get used to doing flies second. You're going to get used to doing crossovers third, or whatever it is. What if you reversed it? What if in your workout, whatever you're doing today or yesterday, as you could see, what if you didn't change any of the exercises that you normally do? You didn't change any of the exercises that you normally do. You didn't even change the sets. You didn't even change the repetitions. What if you just reverse the order? And that's an acute variable that you can work with. What if you reverse the order and just took the exercise you do last and do them first? There are no rules to this. There are no rules to building muscle. There are some commonalities from person to person, but some people respond better to higher repetitions to build mass, and some people respond better to lower. So anytime you're asking a question and you pose it, well, what's the best exercise for chest? There isn't one. How many reps are best for this exercise? There aren't. Some people don't need to train their calves at all. Some people need to do high reps every day. Some people need to go heavy. I mean, you have to figure some of this stuff out. And there's a lot of individuality when it comes to nutrition, of course, and also with resistance training. It's not going to be the same all the time. It's not going to be the same for everyone. And that's why it's very important to add these kinds of, flip the script on your body, because you don't realize what you're missing unless you try it. What if you tried one of these workouts? It might feel uncomfortable. You might not like it mentally. It might be weird. And you might resist it mentally, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to work for you. Just because something's weird and different doesn't mean it's not going to work. Quite the opposite. You get used to the routine. You get used to the schedule. You get used to that monotony. You get used to that. Consistency is so key. And I talked about that at the beginning of this show. However, consistency can also lull you to sleep and you get comfortable. So consistency can get you comfortable, and that's what you want to avoid. Consistency is great. Comfort, not always so great, especially when you're trying to grow and challenge yourself. So these are ways where you can completely overhaul your workout in a given day without changing things so drastically. Just change the order. You don't even have to change the exercises. And there are so many people out there that when they want to mix up their workout, when they want to add some muscle confusion, again, the muscles don't get confused at all. That's just a made-up phrase that sounds nice. When you change your exercises completely, so instead of doing your resistance training workout, you're just going to do a ton of push-ups today. That's completely different and is not necessarily going to take you in the same direction that you're trying to achieve with your resistance training. Is it going to hurt you? No, but if you're doing that frequently, you might not get the same type of hypertrophic development that you would if you just change the order of your resistance training. Your body is going to adapt to that overload. Doesn't mean push-ups are bad. I'm not knocking push-ups. I'm just using a random example. So I hope it made sense. And you can do the same thing. Literally, you can really focus on pretty much all the same things that you're doing in your current workout. Just reverse the order. You will be shocked. If you've never done this, you'll be shocked at how much of a change or how much of a different feel, in the moment and also after soreness, just by changing which order you put the stress on, you put your body under the stress, which order during the workout. And that's how your body adapts. Your body adapts to everything. Your body adapts to everything. It doesn't just adapt to going to the gym. It doesn't just adapt to, I went to the gym in the morning instead of the evening. Your body doesn't really give a shit. Your body doesn't give a fuck. You can build muscle in the morning. You can build muscle in the evening. That's a personal preference. Doesn't matter. Your body adapts to everything. And I get so much feedback. People think that the body, you need to do something so drastically different. Not the case at all. Seriously, if you're taking anything from any episode I've ever done, cement this into your brain. The body adapts to everything. Everything. Everything you can imagine has a component of adaptation for your body. All right? Training in a cold environment versus training in a warm environment. Training at this gym versus a different gym. Doing a barbell curl versus a dumbbell curl. Massive difference. You might not think it's that different because you're standing there curling. Massive, massive difference for your body. Physiologically, massive difference. You're doing a preacher. Why do you think there's so many different exercises? Why do you think they're still trying to invent different exercises? People lying down, people standing up. Some are going to work better than others for some people. But there's so many different angles and different things because you're subtly changing the angle of the stress, where the tension is maximal throughout the range of motion of that exercise. You're tweaking different things and your body adapts to all of it. So whenever you expose your body to something consistently over a decent period of time, it will adapt to it. And even just the order, you do the last exercise first. Don't change anything else. I challenge you. Take the workout that you're going to do, or take a workout that you've done before, or maybe you've been doing the same order of exercise for a while and you're kind of stumped. You're kind of bored. You're like, should I just add another set? What's another great exercise? Fuck that. Don't do anything different. Just reverse the order. You can just put the last exercise first or completely flip it. Completely flip it. Do the last exercise and do that first. Not going to hurt yourself. Warm up properly as you normally would and do the last exercise first. Do the second to last exercise second. Just flip the whole workout. You're still doing the same stuff and just see how your body reacts differently to just the order. Then you can also, obviously, you can change the repetitions. You could change the resistance. You could change what those exercises are, not just the order. You could do dumbbell instead of barbell. You could do cables instead of bar. The basics work. And here's where people take that way too far. I'm just telling you right now, this is an amazing way to get great results, to mix it up enough to shock the body without taking you off your path to build muscle, right? Building muscle is going to help you get rid of extra weight, building lean mass, right? So this is how you can provide enough shock, enough stress, new stress, alarm reaction, right? You can create that new kind of stimulus without doing something completely different like bike riding when your goal is not to be a better bike rider. That being said, you can see how you can take that way too far. You mix that up, and then all of a sudden you're doing different exercise. Now you're doing all cables because you usually do bars, so now you're doing all cables. You need to mix it up while still keeping the focus on the basics. If you're trying to build your chest, I don't know any situation where you shouldn't be doing a pressing movement, whether it's some kind of a bench press, whether it's some kind of an incline, whether it's some kind of a pressing movement. That's a fundamental. Now you can improve your form. You can improve how you're stimulating that pressing movement, and there are ways to do that. But that's a very basic movement. What are you going to do? All crossovers forever, or for a couple weeks? You can try those things, but usually the basics need to be like you need your protein in your meal, right? Let's say the steak is the primary focus of the meal, and the rest of the sides. You can reorganize the sides. You can change the quantity of the steak, less or more, but you still have the same types of foods on your plate. Same thing with your training. If you're doing legs, on a single workout, you can move away from the squat, but overall, you should be doing squats regularly, especially if you want to develop the physique. So you don't want to change the order. You want to add variety, but you don't want to add so much variety that you're losing the focus and you're losing the actual flavor and the importance of the actual exercise in the moment, okay, and in your program. So you can reverse the order of the exercises, but that subtle change, it doesn't seem that, or it might seem subtle, it might not seem that different. Okay, well, I'm just changing the order, it's no big deal. We all want so much stimulation because of social media and phones and all the technology. You're getting such stimulation all the time. You have to be careful translating that over into your training. You don't need tons of new random shit to be stimulated. In your mind, you think, oh, this is so different. Wow. That doesn't mean it's going to work well or work better. It could work worse. Really, doing the same shit over and over again, people get so bored and so frustrated. That's why people don't get results, because they stop doing the fucking shit consistently. You have to lift heavy and you have to train hard for years. You're not going to get this shit in a couple months. Hey, I've been working out for 3 months. How come I'm still not losing enough belly fat? Because you've been working out for 3 fucking months. How good are you at anything in 3 months? Not that good. Not that good. When I started doing video editing and podcasting and stuff, 3 months in, I was pretty much just maybe slightly better than as shitty as I was when I started. Not that much better. Not that much better. You practice piano or guitar for 3 months. You'll be better, but you're not going to be an expert. You're not going to be great. You're still going to be making mistakes and realize, oh, this is so much better. Do it this way. Oh, this is so much better. It's 3 months. And with the thousands of variables that come into play with fitness, no shit, you don't have results yet. You don't have patience. You don't have the concept that this is your entire life. You're not just trying to get to this little finish line like, ooh, I got abs now, I'm happy. Now you got to maintain it for the next 30 or 40 years. You think that's going to be a fucking cakewalk? It's going to be harder than fucking getting it probably. Something happens, something tragic. You lose your job, or you change, or you move, or you go on vacation. Every little thing, every little subsect of your life is going to be a challenge that you need to adapt. You can't be set in stone. You can't be doing random shit. Like, you have enough random shit in your life. You have enough random shit in your life. Everyone's going to the gym trying to do all this random stuff all the time because they think that's what's going to get them the most results. Whereas you have so much random shit occurring every day, you need like ruthless consistency, the same fucking shit. You need like ruthless consistency to overcome the randomness of life. And that's really it. If you're adding random stuff in your workouts and random stuff is going on every fucking day, no wonder you're not getting results, because there's no consistency. There's no output. There's no what can you expect when you're doing random stuff all the time? Your body doesn't know what to expect. You don't even know what to expect. You're just doing things that might stimulate you cerebrally in the gym that day. Oh, this exercise is entertaining. It's new for you. Oh, it's exciting. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? You don't need fancy shit in the gym. All these little toys and stuff that come out, fucking waste of money and time. You need to do the basics. The basics have always worked. They always will work because, evolution, the body's the same as it was. You don't need to be restricting blood flow and fucking doing blood flow, right? And tying those straps around your arms to decrease the oxygen to my biceps. You need to stop being a pussy and train harder and eat more food. You'll get plenty big without trying to fucking tie off your arms to decrease blood flow so I stimulate. I mean, do it if you want to, but it's just a waste of time. You're focusing on the wrong shit. If you're an elite bodybuilder or like a strength athlete, if you're at the peak, like for me, if I were to do something like that, all right, I have like a great foundation to start pushing and trying different tweaks like that. But at the beginning of your training, it's not what you should be focusing on. There's so much shit that goes around that everyone's just getting, oh, wow, this is the answer. Oh, this is great to build muscle. People are just creating shit to make money, as they always have. It's called business. They want to make something so they can sell it to you, and then, oh, cool, and it's a fad, and it'll disappear, or it'll turn into something else. They'll try to shock the abs again to build muscle. Oh, but it used to be like this, but now when you stimulate the abs, now you're going to build muscle just sitting there because we've upgraded our technology and we can shock the abs better. Come on. People have been building muscle and getting lean for decades, ever since the birth of fucking fitness and training, and you didn't have half this technology. So in terms of what you need to actually mix up, it's a lot less. Honestly, the ruthless consistency, keeping the core of your training and just making subtle changes like reversing the order without changing anything else, rep schemes or exercise selection, just changing the order is a ton of new stimulus for your body. It's really hard to explain, but it truly is. Your body adapts to every little thing that you do regularly. If you're always wearing the same pair of shorts to the gym, you're going to feel weird when you start wearing pants, right? I mean, how many of you live in cold climates where around this time of year, you start wearing sweatpants to the gym? At first, you might be like, wow, I haven't put these on a little bit, or it might feel weird to wear something different, or you got a new pair of shoes, right? You got a new pair of shoes or something, or footwear, and you start using that. Certain lifts or certain things are going to feel weird. Why? Because you adapted to the old thing. And that happens with everything. It happens with what you eat before you train, what you eat after you train, what time of day you go to the gym, what you're wearing in the gym, how you warm up, what exercise you start with, how many reps, how many sets, dumbbell, all those things your body adapts to. And that's a good thing. You want your body to adapt, but you want your body to adapt to the right thing. So you need to understand and learn more about what you want, how to accomplish that, and then focus your training on consistency with those core lifts, and then all these other little assisting ones or these extra ones. You just kind of like, it's like the sun, like a solar system. You just kind of morph things around that center, those center core exercises. And that's going to give you your macro consistency, and it'll give you that micro short-term variation or variety that will, stimulate your brain, but also stimulate your body to keep on seeing progress. Remember, you got to stay healthy. All that being said, if you're not healthy, if you're getting hurt all the time because you're doing too much or random shit, it's not going to turn out well for you. You got to stay healthy because that's how you're going to make consistent progress. I'm not seeing the live chat popping up, but I got it on my phone here. So let's see if we got some questions. So apparently a lot of comments. Apparently a lot of comments were coming through on Facebook especially. Everyone seems entranced and just lulled into sick fucking gains. Fit Fruit Fresh-tastic. What up, fam? Sup, Swole? Jason, the Natural Couture. Sup, Swole, on your delt video, was that a low weight like the prone press? Fuck yeah. Posterior deltoid gets lightweight almost all the time. I do love heavy partial reps as well too, but I don't want anyone trying that without me explaining it in a video or something like that. But yeah, it's low weight. It's low weight. If you do lower weight, higher repetitions with really good holds and really good eccentric focus with your posterior deltoid, you'll make sick gains. High reps and just isometrics, time under tension is nasty for the posterior deltoid. Let's see. On the Facebook. Why can't I, when you click see more on Facebook, it just doesn't show me. Like, what a worthless app. That's stupid. Gave up the protein drinks and started eating a ton of healthy food, and started yoga a month ago. See more. I click see more. Can't see it. Great. Thank you, Facebook. Appreciate it. Back to the KISS principle. Always keep it simple, stupid. Why is it so much easier to lose muscle than to gain? Because it's living tissue. You got to maintain it. It's easier to lose fat than to build muscle. That's for sure. Get hurt, fall off for 3 to 4 months in your body. Again, I can't see the whole question. I mean, it's easier to demolition a building than it is to build one. You can demo it in freaking 5 minutes, just knock it down, but it'll take months or years to build. It's like anything else. You're creating something. Blood flow restriction power cleans on a Bosu ball while 24 hours fasted. Oh, Ken, look at you, you trendy motherfucker. I hate pants, LOL. Me too. I rarely wear pants. I think I'm going to bring back the kilt because you get so much better ventilation. I need some serious yoga today after legs swole. Cheers to that, Aaron. How do you feel about dry needling? Is that a joke or is that serious? I have no idea what you mean. The hell is dry needling? Like just injecting yourself with a dry needle? I don't know what that means. I switched up the order of arms, triple sets 1 today. It was a great change. You see, all you got to do is change the order of the exercises. In many cases, you just change the order and everything changes. And it doesn't mean that that's going to be, and look, you might try that, but don't judge that workout. Don't judge that principle that I just said, finishing movements first or the end or flip it. Don't judge it all based on that one workout because you might like it when you do that for a different workout. Maybe you don't like that order. Maybe it didn't work. It doesn't mean you're not going to get results, or it doesn't mean it's going to kill your progress, but try that with different situations. You have to figure out what works best for you. You're going to find something. And literally all my experience has been experience. I'm trying different things. I'm not afraid to try a different flow of a workout. I'm not afraid to try or add in a different exercise and see how it feels. I don't always implement it and go hardcore because I want to, pace myself and see how my body reacts to it the next day. But I've never been afraid to reverse the order, do higher repetitions, pick one exercise and do that for the entire workout. I mean, you have to try different things, and there's really not that much variety that you need. And there is so much variety that you can add by just making these subtle changes. You don't have to do things super dramatic to stimulate the body. That's where a lot of people get lost. They try to do these massive, massive changes and they overhaul their entire program. They're doing totally different exercise, of course your body is going to go into shock and not see results, or, you're going to get hurt. I mean, you don't need to completely flip the script night and day. You don't need that much. When you add variety to your workouts, to your programming, it can be very subtle and have massive, massive results. Too many people think of change and it has to be look completely different. Not the case. You don't have to change everything. Heard you mention keto in another episode, but didn't hear all of it. What are your thoughts? Thank you. It's up to the individual. Most people that do keto are lacking a lot of nutrients because most people that do keto just add a bunch of fat and just add cheese to everything and dairy and stuff like that. So I'm not a fan of what I usually think of it as sloppy keto. A lot of people just do anything that's high in fat and they're sucking down a ton of dairy and oils and shit that's just high in fat. You can have vegans that eat junk too. So people think of veganism as healthy, which is wrong. I mean, there is no one thing that's healthy, but you can really go down the wrong path with keto as well. You can just do way too much, in my opinion, way too much dairy and way too much other fatty foods that aren't ideal for your body. So for my approach, it's an elimination. It's figuring out which foods are best for you. And then it might lead you towards keto. Maybe you find that that's best for you. But if you are lactose intolerant or you have issues with dairy, you might not want to include that with your keto approach. And it helps to figure that out first. So when it comes to caloric intake, how many calories you're consuming, when it comes to what your macros are, which is what you're asking with keto or paleo, or one of those things is macronutrient ratios and things of that sort, that comes after elimination. Caloric intake and your style of eating, your lifestyle habits are going to come after you figure out what foods are best for you. So I don't personally like doing full-blown ketosis. I like my sweet potatoes and shit. I don't think it's necessary to do keto. That's for damn sure. I do eat a lot of fat, so I'm more fat adapted, but it's important to also consume carbohydrates and keep those pathways primed. Make sure your body can still process glycogen and process those types of, carbohydrates efficiently as well. And plus, when you're doing a lot of strength training, it helps. You need your sugar, you need your carbs. But resistant starches, I love my sweet potatoes. You know that I cool them off first. I like my cold sweet potatoes. Yum, 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 yum. And, but I do eat a lot of fat, protein, fat, carbs, but specific carbs. I don't pound crap. I don't pound shit carbs, veggies, salads, and things like that. But I love my avocados. I love fat, but not enough to go full-blown ketosis. Oh, there we go. The chat just popped up. That was weird. Facebook sleeping. So, yeah, a lot of nutrition podcasts. Those of you that are new to the channel, to the podcast, if you're interested in Nutrition Jumpstart, you can find all my stuff on swolenormousx.com. All the programs that I offer, everything. Those of you that are watching on Facebook, special is still going on. The 3-month special offer. You can check it out. There's a link in the post description. You can always hit me up and ask any questions about programming and stuff like that. But all my programs are for my Swole Enormous X members, and that's why I sent out that workout yesterday, because I liked it. I'm going to add that. I add all the workouts to the archive, and I'm going to add that to some of the programming. I loved yesterday's workout. So remember, Daily Swole Club people, send me a message on Facebook, and you can get onto the Daily Swole Club. I'll probably put in my Instagram story too. I did yesterday. You could swipe up and join. So I don't know if it's still available in my story, but I'll add that again because I'm going to be sending out a lot more alerts and little tidbits on the more often. I don't want to say on the daily, but I'll try to. I have to do it from my computer. That's the thing. So if I'm not always here, it's hard to send out one of those blasts. So I can't do it from my phone yet, unfortunately. So that's why sometimes you don't get them every single day, but I usually like to alert everyone when I'm going live because you miss notifications and all that kind of shit. Things change, and Facebook doesn't want to show you the gains. They think, oh, you don't want to see this bearded guy again, so we're not going to let you know when he's live. So I am stepping ahead. I'm like, you know what? The peeps that want to know, give them that opportunity. So that's why I created the very swole person, the special list, the VSP list. So any other questions, you can drop them right now. We'll just wrap this up. I want to think about what else is new. Tuesday, so Swole Enormous X members, it's going to go live today, the new level 2 for the shoulder awareness program. The next level is going to go live today, so that's exciting. So if you're a member already of Swole Enormous X, you'll see that in the program vault. You'll see level 2 pop up there today, and I'll send out a little blast and let you all know when that goes live. And I'll be doing some more of these little training videos, content here, this, there, and the other, as I always do. And we'll be having some more people back on the show. Going to do another little follow-up interview tomorrow. Got a bunch of people coming on in the next couple weeks, so it's going to be super cool. So just stay tuned for that. We'll do some phone calls and ish. So stay plugged in. I'm going to be sending out some surprise messages and get some more insight, and we'll take it to the streets a little bit. I want to take it to the streets over this holiday season because it's going to be intense. We got to stay on point, fam. We got to stay on point. So I want to show you what people just like you are doing. Not just me, what people just like you are doing to not be a biche. Because if they can do it, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. But it also helps to see and hear other people like, oh shit, he's doing it, she's doing it. Why the fuck can't I? And that's the whole point. You can. That's the whole point. You can. It's a very positive show, the Daily Swole Club, the Daily Swole. The Daily Swole podcast is a very positive podcast where you can say anything you want. It's like Willy Wonka's fitness. This is like Willy Wonka's fitness podcast. If Gene Wilder had a podcast about fitness, this is what it would be. It's just say anything you want, talk about anything you want, do anything you want. It's a fitness paradise. It's a Swolepalooza. How often do you eat the bacon that you buy? I don't know. Every couple days. I don't have bacon every day, but I have before, and I love it and tastes so good. But yeah, I mean, definitely if you're having bacon or you're consuming beef, make sure you're getting your vegetables too. Don't buy into this hype where like, oh, the carnivore, if you don't eat vegetables are poison. I mean, it's easy to say something, but it's not, when you can't prove it, you're just saying random shit. Always be wary of anyone, especially fitness professionals. Always be wary of shit that you see online when someone plants a flag super hard in one specific diet. Always be skeptical. I mean, if they're providing some evidence to support their theory, okay, but it's still just some evidence. And a lot of times that evidence isn't completely founded or solid and can have issues with that, so you have to approach fitness or training, nutrition from a very individualized standpoint. And that's what we do here on the Daily Swole podcast. That's what we do inside Swolenormous X. We have the frameworks, but then you need to have the ability to customize and individualize it for you. And there are a lot of people out there that are just preaching one thing as the be all end all, as like the savior. Fucking keto people. Keto is almost as bad as the vegans. People that do keto are just so fucking hard. There's no war on carbs. There's no war on carbs. Carbs aren't the enemy. That's bullshit. No, carbs are the enemy. The fuck out of here. Processed carbs are the enemy. Sugar is the enemy. Fucking garbage food is the enemy. But carbs are not bad for you. So you have to really think who's providing the information, what do they get out of it, and why are they so zealous about picking a side. It's like politics, right? Nutrition's like politics. And when you think about politics, there's no right answer. There's opinions. And that's really what a lot of nutrition is. It's opinions. And everyone's going to have a study that supports their theory, but there is not one best way of eating. And that's the only fact that you need to be aware of when it comes to nutrition. There is no one best way of eating. And anyone that says that this is proven, this is the best way of eating, is literally being a slimy piece of fucking shit, and they're lying to your face. So that's the truth. We'll end it on there because that was a nice punch right to the taint. Well, thank you, fam, for joining me for episode 886 of the Most Muscular Swolecast. Beardcast, Broadcast, Gangcast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleazecast, Slaycast, Taintcast, of course, in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. I'll see you tomorrow, of course, for episode 887. Remember, if you want to join the Daily Swole Club, send me a message on my Facebook page at Swolenormous. You'll get a prompt and you'll click the button. Don't not click the button, because then you won't be added to the private VSP list. You need to click the button. So send me a message on Facebook. I'll add it to my Instagram story right now so you can check in a few minutes. That way you can join there. And you'll get some workouts, you get nutrition tips, you'll get notified when I go live, this, that, and the other. So it's super cool. And those of you that are ready to take this last 3 months by fucking storm, click the link in my post description here on Facebook. Special 3-month offer only for members of the community. So that's why I'm talking about it here on the podcast. This is not for the public. Someone just finding the page, they're not going to see this. So it's only for those of you that have been in the community this entire time. So that is the best way that you can get started, and it locks you in. It locks you in with your programs. It locks you in with your nutrition. It locks you in with your accountability. It locks you in with a great community, and that's what you need for changing your lifestyle habits. So surround yourself with good people. Always surround yourself with good people. If you don't have them in your family, it happens. You can't choose your family. If you don't have them in your school, in your work, you don't have good friends, you need better friends. So you need the Swole friends. So join the Swole fam, and that link is in my bio. You can always learn more. It's in the post description on Facebook, but you can always learn more about Swolenormous X. Just go to swolenormousx.com. You can check out all the links for the podcast and everything we have to offer over there. And I'll see everyone tomorrow for episode 887 of The Sleaze. So, peace, McGee's fam. Deuce, Magoose. Ya boy, Papa Swolio. Out.